Hey YouTube, this is the start of part 2 of us painting this room after doing some research on skim coating. We're not going to skim coat. My understanding is if we do skim coat, it will be a very luxurious and smooth wall. And I'm trying to see. So if we do skim coat, it will end up being pretty smooth like this, but we're going to leave it level 4, which is a little rough. We will apply another layer of mud because there's like a few areas where the paper, it's not sitting quite flush. So we're going to do another layer of mud, and then we are going to do research on what paint color. I'm getting better at mudding. We are going to do our last coat. Hopefully, we might need to patch up some other spots, and I'm still like not very good at the mixing part. Getting better. The volcano is working, and again, very similar to dentistry. It just takes a little bit of time for the initial incorporation of powder and liquid. We've been experimenting with mixing it a little bit more watery, and some of the tape and wire mesh we've been using, they've kind of been falling apart a little bit, so we've been redoing a few pieces. I think the ideal situation is to get it so it's not too watery, but at the same time it is not too hard to work with where we can't actually mix the product into the drywall spaces that we're trying to fill. All right, it's kind of getting there. Need a little bit more water. Uh-oh, having a little spillage. But I think we're at a point where we should be okay with it. Perfect. Start folding it in on itself, and maybe make another volcano. Definitely need a little bit more water on this one. Yeah, this is it's been a fun process. I kind of enjoyed mixing the mud, and oh yeah, that's good. We're pretty happy with our last layer of mud, and it should have mostly everything covered. We are going to do some paint research and get ready to paint. Starting to do research on which paint to buy. This person recommends Benjamin Moore and Sherwin-Williams. They're the premium brands, can't go wrong with them. But they also recommended this Bare Ultra Satin. That's the lowest quality they would go. This one recommended Bare Premium Plus. I think that's a little bit more expensive than the Ultra Satin. Next one, same thing, Sherwin-Williams, Benjamin Moore. Most expensive, can't go wrong with them. This was a really good post to read. talked about a few things about paint. We are most likely going eggshell and satin. Next one, also recommended Bare Premium Plus, but not the Ultra. Now I have to figure out what color to use. This is why I like having a big monitor. I could research two things at the same time. I literally just go to Google and type in best colors, pull up a few websites. This one's really informative. It talks about taking into consideration the space, the work, the different colors. Another site that talks about different colors. We're most likely going with some sort of light blue. It seems blue is good for productivity. Yellow if you want to be a little more creative. When I checked Reddit for the best color, this person was literally like, this is the color. And it's actually like kind of digging that. Going to go to Home Depot now and see what they have. Made it to Home Depot, going to check out the blues. This one looks pretty good. A little too blue. I like helium, but it's very bland. Oh yeah, ethereal mood. We're gonna go ahead and pick one. We are going to finally start painting. These are the colors that I picked. We are using Tinted Ice, Helium, and Ethereal Mood. The plan is to get 3 of them on the wall and we'll figure out which one we like. The ceiling, I actually don't know what they used, but we need to paint the ceiling again because we messed it up with the mud. And luckily, they left us some stuff in the garage. I haven't really looked through them, but there they are. And we think it's this one. And I haven't even opened it yet, so I don't actually know what it looks like in there. It could have dried up, but the plan is to use that, and we are gonna head back to start trying to cut some walls. I'm just gonna pick one. This will be my first time cutting a wall. According to Reddit and the YouTube video, don't use painter's tape and just learn how to cut correctly. I should have probably put this in a bigger container. And the key is to not use too much paint and just press and just draw a straight line. Clearly that's not enough paint. Let's try that. And they like bend the tip so it's like almost vertical. Good thing I get to practice. Maybe I'm holding it wrong, or there's not enough paint on there. All right, let's go more paint. That doesn't look right. Well, I'm gonna do a little bit more research on that. But in the meantime, we're just gonna get some paint on here and we're gonna figure out which color we like. We got all the colors on there, but one of them is not correct. This is supposed to be the helium, but you can tell it's very pink. So I'm gonna go back to Home Depot and see if they can get me the right one. I'm not a color expert, but that's not right. I had to get a quart size of the helium because since it's such an off-white, for them to give me a sample. They had to manually mix it, and I guess they added some of the wrong pigments, so it came out funny. But now we have our samples there. I like the middle one. We're gonna use that one for the wall. And my wife actually found this, and that says ceiling. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this for the ceiling, and I'm going to practice how to cut that edge all around. And once we're done with that, we can paint the walls. Truth, we are finally actually going to paint, and it seems like what the internet has been saying about good painting is 80% prep and 20% painting. Luckily we liked the little can because I had to buy the quart size because they couldn't mix the little sample sizes, because since it was a color that was very light, it really depends on the operator to mix in the correct pigment. And I think I just got unlucky at the Home Depot I went to. Weren't able to get it. Try not to waste any paint. I think I'm good with that. So the Reddit thread I read said to cut one section, go all the way down, cut the bottom, and then roll this part, because once we are done cutting the entire room, since we're pretty slow, the paint might have already dried and might not blend well. But I think depending on the type of paint, it should blend pretty well. And I've had some practice, and you want to get all the bristles kind of in a row and do your initial cut. I read a few, and some are like, you want to go kind of fast, but also not too fast. I don't care about this wall because we're gonna be painting both walls, and then go back for your second cut. That is going to be kind of the close one. You know, that's not perfect, but I'm pretty happy. That's like my first serious cut. And luckily we're using a kind of a lighter color, so it's not super obvious. I didn't get as close at this beginning spot, so I'm just going to redo it. Yeah, pretty happy with that. I actually don't know how to do this part. Whoops. I was doing so good. I guess this is the correct. I'm not going to fully cut this side because we're not painting this wall yet, but we'll start with that. All right, I'm going to move the ladder. One hand technique. And yeah, like this part, we don't really care about too much right now, so I'm just gonna do a quick. I hear dripping, but. I'm gonna give myself a little bit more room here to roll. And then this bottom part is the next actual serious cutting part. And yeah, just again, kind of hold it. With all the bristles. Beautiful. That looked like a thin coat, so I'm gonna go over it again. Should have sanded this a little bit more, but it's okay. And now, I think we're pretty much ready to start rolling. I really like this handy paint pail. It's got like a magnet to hold the brush up so it doesn't dry out. This will be my first time using a roller, so I should have probably watched the video on how to use this. That looks like not enough. We'll try that. Definitely not enough. This is actually like kind of fun. I think the microfiber makes a difference, but I don't know. All of the products I'm using was in the first video. I did like a quick intro and shot all the stuff I use. They're all from Home Depot. Mostly all the Woodsy brands. And I read a comment on Reddit that once it's pretty evenly coated, you could still back roll it up in case you're getting any drips. All right, just gotta do that for the whole room. We have finished painting. This blue was initially very baby blue and sky blue, but after it dried, it picked up a little bit more gray, and we love it. My side doesn't really have anything because I'm still not working here. But my wife has moved in and we're getting settled. The closet looks pretty good. Got the vent back. Got all the outlets put back in. We have cute matching chairs and desks. 10th video done.